This is a Sunday mindset session. Tony, running a little bit late, caught in a little bit of traffic as the Brisbane City CBD has been shut down.
It's shut down.
Been shut down. There's a charity event, bike ride, runners, walkers, everyone's out and about in Brisbane at the moment. It is beautiful weather, gorgeous out and about. Tony's just getting himself organised. I think he's still a little bit sweating from the run over here to make it in time, but we've got our coffees, we're ready to go. We're doing the push today. Hopefully you are too. That is our topic today. Are you on the push? And
where's your email, mate?
I didn't actually send it.
Here I am going, where's this damn email? You didn't send it.
I didn't send it.
So listen, so don't put all the focus on me.
No, we're all, good morning from us both. Kelly and Sean, good to have you on.
Hello.
Tony Gallagher comes on as well. Good morning, and are you late?
He is.
Late
morning
due
beer.
for a morning beer.
He had his beer at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, go for a run, go for a beer, make it all happen, and that is my push. What is your push? And when we talk about push, we're thinking about what is your gym push. People are often pushing themselves at the gym. There's people bike riding, walking, running around the city today of Brisbane. They're doing a push themselves. I, this morning, went for a run, did it in about just over 30 minutes. That was a big push for me. Gabby, good to have you on as well. Hopefully you're pushing. I know you're out at an event over the weekend, so hopefully not too much of a hangover there for some people that are out and about on a Saturday.
I've pushed. I parked on the other side of the city. I pushed. So thank goodness the heart rate's starting to come down, a bit sweaty, but that's okay. But you're right, it's about pushing. You know, I love the fact that there's so many people out and about this morning, bike riding, exercising and whatnot. So that's exercise-wise, but also, you know, business-wise as well. Are you pushing? Are you doing the one extra thing, the one extra phone call, the one extra meeting? You're telling me before that you've been doing a few meetings over the last couple of days. So you guys are pushing as well, which is fantastic.
Always on the push. Ravi, good to have you on. I know a big shout out to all the Indian people having the Diwali.
Diwali, correct.
Diwali
Yeah,
festival, I guess, over the the weekend.
Yep.
So a big shout out to them celebrating. I guess I don't
know
the
mate.
basis of
Perhaps
it.
Ravi, you could share with us what it is. I don't know, to be honest, but I do know that it's going on. So, yep, great.
Maybe that's a push for them.
Well, it could be a push for us to understand a little more about it as well.
That's true.
Right? So if we're going to go and bring these things up, perhaps we should understand a bit more about it. That's okay.
No, that's okay. This is why we've got a community to help and educate us along the way. Like
Yes.
we're helping and educating our community as well.
Exactly.
So we talk about the gym push, we talk about the mental push, we talk about the career, the business push, and in the investing push as well. Kat, good to have you on and joining. What is your push that you're doing right now? We would love to hear from everyone that's coming on here. What is the central focus of a push that you're having? Maybe it's the gym, maybe it's a career, maybe it's property development, like Peter comes on right now. Sean is on here, some other people. What kind of pushes, Tony, before we get into some of the topics that I can't quite remember?
One extra is the thing that comes up for me, so do one extra. I remember there's a real estate agent actually who's into fitness, and he started a 31-minute club. So the majority of people will exercise 30 minutes, but he said do one more minute, just that one.
Does that mean I go slower on my run to make that extra minute up?
No, it means that you maybe run a bit longer. So you might do 7.2k. So, but the point is that you want to have a little push. What do? I push for extra calls in the day. I think to myself, oh, that's it. I push again, because you just never know. You just never know. You and I talked about, probably 4 months ago, there was a Gary V episode where there was, they said one more call. You know, said, nah, one more call, and that particular call was amazing, right? That girl rang in and it fundamentally changed her life. That one extra call. So it's about just doing one more. When I think push, I think do one more. Go to a point where you're exhausted, whether it be physical exhausted or mental exhaustion or whatever, and just do one more. You know, I go back to my story way back when I was a young guy and I was out looking for work. Dad drove me around. I was down and out on the dole in a very dark place. And I said, Dad, I'm done. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He said, mate, let's just do one more call. We wanted to visit one more outlet to try and get a job. A, I got the job, but B, I met the mother of my 2 children from that one more call. So that resonates with me big time, and I don't have long enough to go through the whole story, but I mean, the point is that, I could have easily said, hey, but my father said to me, mate, just do one more. We've just got one more in us, and that one has fundamentally changed my life.
Awesome. I'm going to get into Peter's comment in a little bit, but before I do that, I will say that one more social media post. Interesting that some of the stuff that I do often put out on social media, as do you, and I put up the beer by the Story Bridge, and it's like, are you writing your story? I didn't really feel like there was going to be that much interaction with that, but it's amazing what you do put out sometimes that connects with people, then gets into that interaction and that awareness about you and some attention. Then they may actually do some other things in terms of property later on. So
Maybe.
I always talk to people about, if you've got a business or you've got, telling a story or whatever you're doing, perhaps just put more about what you really like. I spoke to a gentleman yesterday who actually enjoys volleyball.
Yeah, great.
He talks about his business and puts, a little bit of posting around on social media around his business. I was like, do you actually talk about volleyball? And the funny enough thing is that people don't like and comment when he puts things about volleyball, but when it comes to the discussions he has with those people that he's selling to, that they bring up about volleyball.
There you go.
See, people are watching.
But also there might be volleyballers as well that then all of a sudden start to gravitate towards him because there's the connection with that. So it's
Like-minded, right?
Of course it's like-minded. But it's always about just go for one more something. So I say that everyone says there's two guarantees in life, being death and taxes. I say there's a third one, and the third one is that if you don't do the something, if you don't do the call, if you don't do the post, if you don't do the exercise, then you're never, ever, 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 ever going to get that thing. You're never going to get that business. You're never going to get that potential client. You're never going to help yourself from a health and wellness point of view. That's the guarantee. When you do it, you may not get a client, but you give yourself half a chance of success. You do a post, you may get a client, you may not. You do a Facebook Live, you may get a client, you may not. You do a phone call, you may get a client, you may not. But you give yourself half a chance. But if you don't do it, then you never, ever, ever, ever get that opportunity.
Okay, so the question of today is, are you putting a push for yourself? I know Ken Murray is out on the push today. He's pushing and pumping some of that.
He's pushing and pulling.
Pushing and pulling.
Pulling
the
down
ice
on the
creams.
soft serve, correct. Yeah,
the ice
absolutely.
creams. Hey, I'm going to ask a favour to anyone in the audience right now. If you can do me a favour, on my post there's 3 points there. If you can copy and paste the points into, look, Rex loves volleyball.
There you go.
Amazing.
See?
So I'm going to connect you with my mate
Actually,
John.
maybe I should go on to the Facebook Live.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea actually. We didn't even think of that.
Being resourceful, there you go.
Absolutely. One thing I want to highlight firstly while Tony's doing that is Peter says he's on the push for trying to be a better dad. So Peter, first of all, I would say Tony and I both attest to this. Is what's your terminology about what you're saying to yourself? Trying. I will be a better dad. I am being a better dad is going to be better in your mind for what you are going to experience. Be careful on the terminology, I would say. Ken says another great Sunday morning, glorious Sunday morning up here in Queensland, and hopefully it is for people down in the southern states and then all over the world. Ken says, yes, it's funny how many do not comment or like on your posts, yet at random times they mention something about your past post. Absolutely, Ken. It amazes me, but it happens on a regular basis. So Ken is posting a lot about his ice creams, going in the local areas of the South Coast, and he's getting all that interaction, and it's way above than what we realise sometimes, and people might like a post once or might even look at anything.
Which is even more the reason that you should not get your emotions linked to the likes, shares, comments on a post, right? Because there's examples where Ken wasn't aware that people were liking, sharing and commenting, but they really loved it. But they just never went and clicked the button or shared it or whatever. And yet how many of us do something and go, oh my gosh, I only got one like, or I feel terrible, or whatever it might be, as opposed to disconnect yourself from the outcome, do the things that you know you need to do. Keep doing posts. Like we have done 2 posts on every platform for like 3 years. Keep doing more posts. Keep doing more phone calls. Keep doing more exercise. Whatever it might be, keep doing those things. Don't worry about whether you get the adulation or the criticism or whatever. Do what you can control. Ultimately, that's it. Focus on what it is that you can do.
So interesting, Peter said, pushing to be a better dad. Great. What are the things, Peter, we'd love to hear a little bit around that. What are you feeling about yourself? What are your kids, what are you
doing?
What
are you actually doing? Like when you say pushing to be a better dad, like I'd love to know what that is specifically. Peter.
What do you need to be doing? So continuous improvement, learning as it goes along. David, good to have you on as well. And we've also got Ravi who says, for me, push is the ability, is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do, and have the attitude determines on how we will do it. So, some really good thoughts there from Ravi. So thanks for sharing, Ravi. I will get into the first point in a moment. Likes and comments don't make sales. No, they don't. But you know what does, Ken? Attention.
Awareness,
attention, awareness.
Exactly. That's what makes sales.
That's right. And that's why, Ken, you get all those DMs for people to bring the ice cream truck around to their streets and then to service the whole neighbourhood. And that's why Ken, this is a special one from Ken, that he had one of those quiet streets actually right on the street.
I saw it. Yeah,
Welcome,
saw
Ken.
it. Yeah,
thanks for coming, or something like that.
Yeah, which is amazing.
It's amazing, what kind of attention you can have out of being such a community person. And this is something, people can understand and watch from what Ken's doing, putting himself out there on a constant basis. Older guy, but using social media where it's not a thing for someone of Ken's age to be using social media. Probably he's in the 1% framework, you would say, in terms of social media use in his age bracket, right?
Sure.
Like, to be fair about general population, and look at what it's doing for him, right? And I'm saying this for people that are, 10 years old, 15, 20, whatever, 60 years old, 80 years old, the same framework. And look at what the difference it makes. How good does Ken feel when he drives up to that street and sees that his name's plastered on? Local celebrity, Ken. Outstanding. David says, good morning. Ken says, Luke has taught me consistency.
Great. There you go. That's awesome. Well done. We talked the other week about influencers, and I just, a lot of people think influencers are these people with 100,000, followers, whatever it might be. You're influencing, Ken. Like, you're influencing people around you in your local community, but not only are you influencing your potential customers, you're influencing others to maybe follow your lead, right? So you don't need to have 100,000 followers to be an influencer. You just need to do the things that you should know you should be doing, keep doing it, and like people are recognising. Like Luke's now calling you out and saying, hey, you're doing an awesome job, and others are starting to notice, your customers are starting to notice, your customers are writing chalkboard on the road. You are influencing people, mate, so keep it going. And the same, I know we're focusing on Ken right now, but the same applies to each and every person out here. Ken is learning the art of consistency, constantly posting things out, regardless of what it is, constantly pushing a message out, not worrying about the fear side of things, not worrying about the criticism, the judgment, etc. Where are you at? Where are you all at with that? Are you doing that? Are you being as consistent as Ken? And I suspect the majority of us aren't.
But what about the influence someone can have? I know what we talk about mindset, we talk about inspiration, motivation, drive that we have, and we're living out that each and every day. So I guess in using us as examples, yourself, myself, Ken, who we just used as a story in his story, is what about the attitude of influence, or the influence of attitude?
Yeah, well, yes, but I suppose for me, the way I look at it is, I do it because I need to do it for me, and if that has a positive for what I want to do, and if that has a positive impact on others, that's awesome, but I'm going to do this because this is the right thing for me to be doing. And so regardless of if people like me or don't like me, I know what I need to do, I know what I have to do for me, for my business, etc., and I will keep doing that. So I focus on me, what I can control, and let the other stuff take care of itself. The other thing, mate, consistency. This is now, what episode is this? I should have
75.
Is it? I thought it was 76. Wow,
Okay, could be 76. We have to go back in the numbers.
Whatever it is, it's mid-70s, right? So, I think that in itself is...
it's a little bit older than Ken.
each and every
It's a little bit older than Ken.
each and every Sunday morning for the last 75, 76, whatever it might be, we've been here. I've missed about 3 of them, but Luke has been here every time, and we've, so that is a phenomenal effort as well. And then, of course, consistency with your running, and we celebrate that most weeks. So that's amazing. Amazing. It's amazing. Like, I'm not trying to downplay it, but it's amazing.
What I wanted to explore around this is the attitude that you can look at the inspiration, and for someone to actually ride on the street, how that makes Ken feel. Plus, on top of that, there's a situation of how they feel about Ken arriving.
That's what I was thinking.
Like the attitude that it sprays in the community.
Absolutely.
Like the smiles it puts on people's faces.
And
yes, the ice cream is the vehicle of it, but it's the him just showing up is gonna be it brings that.
Well, I think this is where there's an identity opportunity, right? So the identity is Ken. You're not in the business of selling ice cream. You're in the business of making memories. You're in the business of creating smiles, right? So the ice cream, like you said, is the vehicle, but it's the outcome of all of that. And also, like you said, for the fact that that one lady or maybe some families or kids took the effort out of their day to get some chalk and to write. It wasn't just a small sign. I mean, it took up the whole damn street.
I know, it was
massive,
amazing.
So I think
Ken, do us a favour
wonderful.
and post the photo later or whenever you on the Facebook page on these comments, which could be some inspiration for someone else to make the move and do one more thing, like Tony said.
One more.
Tony, we might get into some of those topics.
Oh, the topic. Okay.
Okay. So Ken says 63 plus. I'm doing okay. You're doing fantastic.
Yep.
And also Ravi says totally agree. Awareness is needed. Post. Don't worry about likes on Facebook or Instagram. Absolutely, Ravi, 100% agree. I know you post a lot about his pest control work.
Beautiful.
He does a lot of work with reptiles as well.
Oh, great.
So down in Sydney.
Yep.
So doing an amazing job.
Yep.
He's a BNI member as well.
Terrific. Okay.
Great guy. Spreads himself wide around the BNI network.
Yeah, good.
Ken says other ice cream vendors are copying exactly what I do. That to me is gold.
What's the saying? Imitation is the best form of flattery, right? So
Absolutely,
so
Ken.
I think that's wonderful. And again, here's the thing: you can't control what the competitors do. So you guys get out there and do it. I know that you and I in the past have talked about the fact that you guys in Search Party Property are out there all the time doing live, and some others starting to copy. But again, they might be falling off. They may be, whatever. You are so consistent. So it's focus on what you can do, and it's great when others copy you, but again, don't do it for that. Do it for you need to do these types of
Ken,
things.
we just got to raise the bar to the next level, bro.
100%.
So
Control what you can
absolutely.
control.
Ken says, I know members in the group get positive news from both Luke and Tony. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Jake, could have you on. Positiveness. Sorry. And Ken says, yes, Tony, I am making memories. And also, Dream
Reviver. There you go.
The Dream Reviver.
Look at that.
Okay, interesting. Okay, what's our first point, Tony?
Oh, that's right. We've got a topic. Sorry, I'm all over this today. Is there drive, motivation, inspiration with yourself, or a lack of it?
Okay, so that's the question everyone's got to think about. Is there a drive right now? If you have a self-assessment, if you're awareness about yourself, is there a drive? Is there a motivation to go and run, bike ride, go to a charity event, make that extra call,
Start
make
a
that
business,
one more?
get promoted, whatever it might be. What is it? But the thing is, you've got to have something in front of you, right? So we talk about this all the time. Start with end in mind. The end doesn't have to be 5 years. The end could be a week.
Is there a forward focus,
Is there
right?
something in front of you? What's that? It could be tomorrow. Like it could be today. Like there might be something. It's just got to be something in front of you that gives you a bit more impetus, a bit more purpose, etc. to get up and do something. So you don't have to go and set a 5-year goal. If you want to, that's awesome. But set something in front of you: a day, a week, a fortnight, a month, whatever it might be.
And what if there's a lack of that?
So the opportunity is to get clear on that, get clear on the goal. So spend the time, think it to yourself. A lot of people don't take the time to think about what is they actually want, right? And then when they think about what they want, they're not actually clear on what they want. So it's about get really clear on what it is that you're looking for. Yeah,
Absolutely. I guess the more hurt in what you have, or the higher drive that you have, the better chance that you're going to have that happen. I guess it's almost to the fact of when people actually do hit rock bottom, then they are actually able to build themselves up. What we want to do is avoid the rock bottom, have that feeling of rock bottom on a constant basis to actually drive that forward without having that emotional despair and depression and anxiety of hitting rock bottom?
Well, the saying is change happens when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the change itself. So anytime you go and change something, you do something different, it's going to be hard, it's going to be challenging, you're going to be clumsy at it early on. But when the pain of staying the same in exactly the same situation in weeks and months and years into the future, when that becomes too much to bear, you'll do something about it. That's the type of rock bottom that we're talking about. We don't want people to go and lose money or have heart attacks and all those types of things. We want people to recognise where we're at the moment, and hey, you've only got one of these lives. We've all only got one of these lives, and what is it that you want to get out of it?
One life, one call.
Do you want to maximise what's in front of you, or do you want to whinge and whine and complain, etc.? So that's the opportunity for each and every one of us here on Sunday, is to start to think about what is it that we actually want for ourselves, and if you're not happy with where you are, then use that as a catalyst to spark some of that change.
Well,